Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, let's continue with the alternative timelines. And I know we've got a lot more questions. Oh, the clock is ringing. Clock is chiming in. This is a really good one, though. The alternative timeline that Diana lives and Diana meets Megan. Okay. So let's do that one. And then I've done them now for 3 days in a row. I'm going to give them kind of a break. And we're going to be going into Invictus here soon. And I think like 3 days is enough. And then maybe I'll pick them up again later on, because I know there was a lot of questions like, what if Anne became queen? What if Andrew became king? We could just spiral this out of control, but it's nice to change things up. But I think three's, like they say, fish and company start to stink after 3 days. So, or to get stale or something like that. It's something like that. So anyways, ooh, what's this one? Strength. Yeah. So strength is like, controlling things and knowing when to stop and whatnot. So let's do this last one for now. I'll pick it up again later on in the month, or when there's a lull, or we just need a change from Megan and Harry. What alternative timeline, and what if Diana met Megan? What would she say? What would she do? The alternative timeline. What would Diana say if she was alive and she met Megan? The alternative timeline. Diana is alive and she met Megan. How would she feel? What would she say? Cards are ready. Oh, death. And wow. Not a great start. Holy. Get out. A Magician in reverse. Wow. 3 of Cups. Okay, so Diana would have gotten along with her. Wouldn't have thought much of her. 5 of Cups. Maybe Diana just pretended to get along with her, because these cards around this, ooh, the Hanged Man. I think Diana, well, we don't all know Diana had difficulties with depression. With this 5 of Cups card here and the Magician, I think Diana would have put on a happy face, but she would not be happy about it at all. And actually, with this Death and the Hanged Man, it's almost like I'm getting the feeling like, well, we're stuck with her, so I'm going to do my best. Part of it may be how Diana is treated. And maybe she's like, I know what that feels like, and I'm not going to do that to anyone else. Especially, maybe she feels like I have to do this for Harry. She obviously, her feelings inside are not the same as what she shows on the outside. So this could even be for the cameras, right? 9 of Swords. Ooh, lots of anxiety. We sure aren't getting good cards. Holy, lots of anxiety. The Chariot. She would have told William too. You'd be nice. 7 of Wands in reverse on top of the 5 of Cups. She would have not liked this girl at all. At all. But she would have been royal, and she would have put on a face, her outside face, and she's also the Chariot, with being a Cancerian. Her outside face would be completely different from her inside face. How she felt inside, or perhaps how she even treated Megan in private, would be totally different than what she would in public. In public, she would make it look like everything is fine. Nothing to see here. But on the inside, she'd have high anxiety, she'd have big depression. What she was doing would be indefensible. She probably would be doing something, not, you know, being mother-in-law speaking out. Uh, well, I almost heard she'd be the end of me. She'd be the death of me. Four of Swords. Wheel of Fortune. Six of Cups. You know, Ten of Wands in reverse. In public, we would think that Diana and Megan got along fabulously. Absolutely fabulously. You know, definitely. She would treat both her sons the same. She would absolutely treat both her sons the same. She would encourage the boys to be friends, but underneath and behind the scenes, she did not like this girl. She would have not liked her at all. Nine of Cups, Ten of Wands in reverse, Nine of Cups upright, Five of Wands in reverse, the World, and Queen of Cups in reverse. There she is as well, and the Moon. I think she just would have hoped for the divorce. Seriously, just hope, like, when will this ever end? She may have had some outbursts, absolutely, but it would be a false front. There'd be a lot of illusion and delusion about what was really going on. She would look, it's like almost bipolar. I'm getting like a black and white bipolar feeling here, especially with this Queen of Cups in reverse. It would be for the public consumption, it'd be like everything's fine. But for private consumption, she was be beside herself. Big regrets. Interesting, Harry hasn't shown up here yet. Page of Pentacles. She'd be poor salesperson at putting that smile on her face. Six of Swords in reverse, Two of Swords, and King of Wands in reverse. I think people would like pick up on the vibe. You know, like we could look at Queen Elizabeth and the looks that Queen Elizabeth gave Megan on her wedding day, or just the way, you know, Philip, you could pick up on his vibe, whether he liked somebody or not. I think a lot of people would pick up like on the vibe. Like maybe she would say something and they'd question it, like, was that good or bad? I think she would have made up her mind that she just would have made her life easy for the royals, for William, for Harry. So she wouldn't create any media issues about it. But boy, behind the scenes, there would have been a lot. She would have probably had MI6 on her. So you know what? Basically, what Charles is doing, right? If somebody put a mic in front of Charles' face right now and said, "Tell us about Megan," Charles wouldn't say anything terrible about her. And I think that's exactly what Diana would do. Now, how Diana treats her behind the scenes would be a completely different story. And how Diana really felt like we're just kind of stuck with this. Like there's no transforming this girl. This girl has her own mind made up and we are just kind of stuck with it. I think Diana would have really had a lot of the MI5 and security, and I think a lot of that would have had to do with, you know, recording and whatnot. Because the King of Wands is military, anybody in a uniform or Secret Service, and they're in reverse. So they'd be really working on the sly. Megan wouldn't know, but she would. One of the things I was waiting to see what showed up would be the Knight of Swords for the internet back and forth, but it's not here. Diana wouldn't, I mean, if she lived and she might have calmed down or been a different person about the media. And also, she probably knew that Megan played the media as well. But some of the things she would do would be indefensible. So I don't know if she would trip Megan up but in private, you wouldn't see that in public. In public, like I said, in public, she's in control. Everything's fine. This is amazing. And in private, she'd be like, what the Yeah. So she would just do whatever she could to keep the boys happy. But she would have really felt stuck between a rock and a hard spot with Megan. Do you see love here? See Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, um, Three of Cups. Well, that's out in public. We don't have like Four of Wands celebrating births. We don't even have Megan on the table here as a Leo or anything. Interesting. So yeah, I think we have to remember whatever you want to say about Diana. She was a monarchist and aristocrat, and she also would have not wanted to spare once William started getting closer to the throne. I think she would have made she wouldn't do things to destroy the royal family because that would have been destroying William, right? And again, I think if this is William showing up here, she would have been playing nice for William's sake, not for necessarily the royal family's sake, but for William's sake. All right. Well, thank you for following along with this series. Like I said, this will be the last one for a while. I've done 3 days of them now, and we'll get on to something fresh tomorrow. And I'll pick this up later on because I think this is kind of fascinating. And I know you guys still have a lot of questions, but I don't want to bore you either. Okay, take good care. See you in the next one.